Hello and welcome to the Store Championships at Fistful Dice in Portsmouth. This is the second game winners bracket of the elimination cuts. On the left you've got Jeremy playing his Engine in the Future, and on the right Simon's playing Leela. We just saw Jeremy knock Laurie Poulter into the losers brackets in the previous game. Jeremy installs a card, then creating a new remote. Jeremy's actually playing a relatively unique ETF deck. This isn't the sort of standard food coats builds that were going around at the time. He's got some different splash in there. He's got Alex in there, Alex Talbot, which is a nice way to make money as you install cards. Short gamble. Katie Jones there from Simon, putting some money on her and a security testing. So Simon just setting up his economy for the game there. So Executive Bootcamp reses the next silver in front of HQ. Executive Bootcamp, a really nice way to just res ice, even outside of a run. Lets you save a little bit of money, and it's really good as well with the next ice because they're all relatively cheap to res anyway. With the 1 credit discounts makes it even better, and they quickly start stacking their effects for strength or subs. Jeremy just drawing up twice with Jackson there. Just sort of sculpting his hand into what he wants. So security testing in archives. Desperado comes down. Runs archives, and Jeremy's immediately going to pop the Jackson. Didn't actually have to pop it there because it was a security testing run. I think maybe he didn't quite notice that, although presumably Simon probably would have been running that anyway next. Oh yeah, click free run executive bootcamp. He's going to trash that and pay a credit to go searching for an asset. Ooh. And that is Alex Talbot. And click for Simon just put some more money on Katie Jones. So there's the Alex there. Install a card. Puts a power token on the Alex. So you can trash Alex to get a load of money for it. Basically, ETF already gives you money for installing Alex Talbot, just kind of like a slow-paced way of doing that even further. So I'm just going to run the Alex. That's a Turing res there, so that's going to keep Simon out because he is on click 2 of this turn. Run archives of security testing, and for his final click, put some money on Katie Jones. Run an R&D last click there might not have been a bad thing. If you managed to find an agenda, you could have returned the ice or that upgrade that's on HQ. Simon electing for the long-term financial gain in Katie Jones though. And Katie Jones is a card you kind of have to commit to. Simon just asking to check Alex Tower. That's not a card that sees a lot of play, so Simon possibly not entirely familiar with how it works and what the cost of it is. So yeah. Jeremy's going to spend a click to trash that and gain some money. So security testing goes on archives. Someone's drawing for click 2. Third click. It's a daily casts. And click 4 presumably is going to be some more money on Katie. Yeah, further money on Katie there. Yes, as I was saying in the previous turn, Katie Jones is a card you kind of commit to. You got to really get the most out of it. You want to be clicking it most turns, really. Financial return obviously is just really exponential. For every time you do use, it's just making out of sort of payout when you finally release all those credits. Even more the better. And Simon just debating next move. Sure gamble. Money for days on either side of the board there. If that is an agenda, Simon possibly not too bothered about the corpse scoring out with Leela's bounce ability. Okay, install advance. So that feels like a Jackson and an accelerator beta test to me. Double advance on the ABT does mean that the Leela fire will have time to react from if it sort of goes. Oh, that's the next silver there. So that's going to keep Simon out. Next silver is a barrier. It gains a sub for each resed piece in next ice. So currently 2 subs on that. Simon Dirty Laundry into Executive Boot Camp. Which Jeremy does elect to destroy. So instant speed, pay a credit, and that just kills off. Okay. Ooh. So he's taken asset into hand. That's a team sponsorship. So he's going to have to install that and score whatever that agenda is in the remote to return a card from Archives of HQ. More money on Katie Jones there. So there's 18 credits sat on Katie Jones right now, as well as the money ticking in off the daily casts. So yeah, team sponsorship comes down. Advance. Score. Yeah, accelerate beta test. Who's going to fire that? There's one piece of ice in there. Which, yeah, he's going to put on that scoring server. So that's the next bronze. That's Code Gates gets +1 strength for each piece of next ice. That's on 3 currently. Yeah, team sponsorship goes for that upgrade. Leela's going to bounce back that piece of ice. I assume Jeremy's just going to ice this. Yeah, ice R&D back up for his 3rd click. So that card, the team sponsorship went in. I think that was a face down actually. So interesting to see what the upgrade is in there. If that's a Breaker Bay in there, he might have returned an Adonis or an Eve just to tick some money down while waiting for the next agenda. Yeah, so I'm going to run the team sponsorship and trash that. Another daily cast coming down. So Leela, really comfortable on money at the moment. 4 credits clicking at the start of each turn. Plenty of money on that Katie Jones. Just bring in at will when you need it. Okay. So not an economic resource in that scoring server. So perhaps Breaker Bay Caprice, Breaker Bay Ash, maybe Ash Caprice, something like that. Installs new remote and another new remote. And advances that card, so it's an agenda in there. Or a really ballsy aggressive secretary. So Simon needs to get some breakers quickly, or he's gonna just give the pace of this game to Jeremy. Okay, so Simon runs that remote. It's a team sponsorship, which he's gonna trash. Which is good, because he's just gonna be able to bring back the other team sponsorship otherwise. Runs that card, which is another executive boot camp. And Simon just debating what his last click is. He's got no way of pressuring that scoring right now, which is a real shame. Yeah, more money on Katie. Passes the turn. So Jeremy takes his mandatory draw and then scores out another accelerated beta test. Is he going to fire another? Yeah, he's going for it. All in the trash. Leela chooses to bounce that R&D ice. And yeah, it just returns again. So Simon says security testing on archives. Daily cast comes in. Looks like Leela is about to empty for click one. Yeah, click one. All that money. I think that was 21 credits in the end. R&D interface comes down. So Jeremy with a comfortable lead so far, but really low on money. A second R&D interface for Simon, and he's going to face check that R&D, and it's just another next bronze. So that's now strength 4 code gate protecting R&D. Archive memories. What's Jeremy going to go for here? For an executive boot camp, which is going into that scoring remote. He's going to res it and use it immediately to tutor for something. Going to tutor for Jackson Howard. So that's just to clearly that last beta test, not ideal for Jeremy then. So click 3's got to be to install that Jackson, presumably, yeah. It's Jeremy down to 1 credit. Probably can't res whatever that ice is on archives. But he can get it back. He can get those cards back via Jackson. Yeah, so Simon runs archives. Yeah, security test. Now he's going to actually run, so that'll be the Jackson pop. So 2 face downs. Okay, Oaktown grid there, which Simon's just going to check actually, because not a card that sees a lot of play. And Simon just drawing for click 4. Pass the turn back to Jeremy. He's just finishing shuffling, offering the cut to Simon. Jeremy take mandatory draw. Yeah, mandatory draw for Jeremy. It's another draw. Install, gets credit and takes another credit. So that's up to 3 credits now. A slow way back in for Jeremy. While the judge is there, just reminding Simon he does need to remain security testing every turn. I think it's almost certainly got an archives in this situation, but judge just doing what they have to there to step in and just clear that up. Special order from Simon. Codegate, presumably. We're going to see the Peacock, I would have thought. Yeah, there's Peacock. So with the two R&D interface now, Simon's going to put a lot of pressure on that R&D. It's going to cost him 4 credits to match strength and break. But to access free cards, that seems pretty well for. And the Dirty Laundry to actually make a little money out of the run. Yeah, pay 4 to break. See, Baltic Labour, Oaktown Grid, which Simon elects to trash. And a Project Vitruvius. That's going to allow a bounce for Leela. So bounces back that card that was installed last turn. Gets Dirty Laundry money and passes the turn. So Simon knows that's the Baltic Labour that Jeremy's just drawn. Jeremy in no place to be able to actually do that. Hasn't got the money at all. So there's another piece of ice on R&D. Simon goes back down that remote again and take a credit. So Simon's still unable to pressure that scoring remote. Probably going to make Jeremy spend the money on whatever that piece of ice is in front of R&D, you would think. Just test Jeremy, see if he's got the money and if he's willing to res whatever that is. No, so I'm just drawing up cards. Simon just decided what his next move's going to be for click 3. Atman at strength. Strength 1 Atman. So that's going to be an answer for those next bronze, the barrier versions. And that does give Simon an in for that scoring remote now. Just decide what his next move is. I think, top of my head, I think it's 14 credits for Simon to get into that scoring right. Instead, he's going to leg work. So 4 subroutines is 4 credits with Atman. No res on the upgrade. Simon gets his Desperado. Yeah, he's going to check the upgrade first. That's a Chrysium Grid. Yeah, Simon trashes the Chrysium, and he's going to access 3 cards from HQ. This could be a real turning point in the game now. There's an Architect. What is that? Can't quite see what that was actually. And that's an Ash, that's definitely going to be trashed. So an Agenda, or even 2 out of that legwork, could have really changed the game. Get rid of the Ash, definitely good though. So Simon's credits dropped down quite rapidly the last few turns. He's done a lot of work installing the Atman, the Peacock and 2 R&D interfaces, as well as making some good runs on HQ and R&D. So there's another card going into that scoring mode here for Jeremy. And Jeremy ran on so few money. Res another Alex Talbot. Installs a ice in front of HQ and passes the turn back to Simon. Yeah, so Simon just confirming the security testings on archives again. So here's a Mongoose, which is a new card at the time of this tournament. Caligoda is the latest pack at the time, so this is a bit of a new entry. A really nice, struggles against stacked sentries, but in general, really strong card. Runs archives for security testing credits. Runs HQ for click 3. Okay, R&D actually is confirming. No res, just going to pay 4 for the Peacock to break that next ice. There's a next gold hedge fund. And Alex Talbot, which is going to trash. So next gold is something Simon will just be aware of, that it's out there. Mongoose breaks it for 4 credits, I believe, off the top of my head. Mongoose is 1 to break 2 routines, 2 for 2 strength, and it's base 1, I think. So 4 is strength for next gold. So yeah, it's going to be 5 to break with that. And if you don't break it, of course, it's going to be doing... Well, at this point, if it was installed, it would be 5 net damage and trash 5 programs. Next gold, the real star of that next ice package, if you can get it and get it to fire, can really change games. Install an Archives, gets a credit and an Alex Talbot power token. Simon yeah, drawing a card. So here comes the R&D run. Resident Architect. Simon just deciding what he's going to do here. Yeah, free to break with the Mongoose. So yeah, 2 for strength, 1 for the 2 routines. That is going to keep Simon out. He'll bounce off that next piece of ice. Put some money on Katie Jones. Draw a card. So it's Jeremy's turn. Takes his mandatory draw. Simon checking an electronic device there. Automatic disqualification if you want to be a real overbearing judge. Luckily, far more laid back at this tournament. Dan was the judge and organiser for the day. And Thomas was also sort of helping oversee these elimination rounds. Really great atmosphere at Fistful Dice. Very casual, lots of fun. They also had some really cool Polish cards being given out as participation prizes to a lot of the players, and some sort of custom altered cards by a number of local artists, which was really cool. I managed to get myself a wall of static with it's actually a really cool sort of like 3D water drop effect on the card. Quite often when I res it, people sort of take a second look and try to rub that off. And a breaking news for a Pokemon on it, so I can't complain about that. Yeah, it's a really cool atmosphere for Fistful of Dice, and that's a lot of credit to Dan as the organiser. So R&D run at 7 credits to get in, and that's GFI there. So we're gonna bounce the HQ ice while the upgrades. I would think, yeah, bounce the HQ ice. So that evens the scores like that, 4 agenda points each. Jeremy's still really desperate for money at the minute with just 2 credits. He has got 2 tokens on the Alex Talbot, but still that's not exactly going to make him comfortable on money. Someone takes a credit. Piece of ice comes back down in front of HQ. Alex Talbot token come in. Wow. Pays 2 to ice up R&D, and then yeah, trashy Alex Talbot. That's going to bring some money in. 8 credits. So not massively comfortable with Jeremy, but that should be enough to just keep Simon out of R&D for this turn. and daily cast for Simon. So Simon on 0 money. He's going to get 2 ticking from the daily cast, and there's 3 on Katie Jones. If Jeremy's got it, this seems like a good time to put an agenda into that scoring remote and just push it through. Okay, yeah, card gets installed there. Likelihood of Simon getting into that server this turn seems very small. Simon draws click 1, money on Katie for click 2. And just clicking for a credit for click 3 there. Just a bit of a sort of recovery turn for Simon there. Wasn't really able to put any pressure anywhere. So what's Jeremy's move here? Was that an agenda he put down last turn? Can he score that out? He's just considering himself what his options are. Advance, take a credit. So, if that is a global food, Simon needs to get it this turn, or that's game. Alternatively, Simon can go hunting in R&D, hoping he gets something to bounce that card back. There's no better feeling as a leader player than bouncing back a card that the corporation has invested time advancing. So Simon on 6 credits. He's got another 6, I believe. Yeah, 6 there, sat on Katie Jones. Not a lot of money to be working with when you're using a breaker like Peacock. So Simon taking his time thinking this through. Simon's going to be well aware that if that is GFI, this is the game now. So he knows he's got to get this turn right. We obviously know Jeremy's running GFIs because Simon's already stolen 1. So he's well aware that they're out there. That's a sure gamble. Gets him up to 10 credits. Empties Katie up to 16. He's got 2 clicks now. He's going to have to make the most of these. So the question is, R&D or the scoring remote? There was a quick time warning there from the judge just to let the players know how long was left in the round. Simon knows he's got to get this right, so really just pausing to think this through. Yeah, he's going to go for that scoring remote. Simon just checking if Jeremy wants to res anything, like a Caprice for instance. He doesn't. So Jeremy asked her how many cards Simon's got in hand, which is a curious question in this situation. So Simon gets accelerated beta test. He's going to bounce back that HQ ice. Carry on accessing. Aha! So this card is self-destruct, and now you can see why Jeremy's asking how many cards in hand. So self-destruct, actually a really nice card against the sort of Faust meta that was going on around this time. Once you get to the bottom of the server, you can activate self-destruct. Fires a trace. I can't remember what the trace is actually. If it fires a trace, it can do net damage. And if a Faust players that eliminated their hand breaking barriers on ice with Faust, and that can just be an instant win there. Really nice and interesting splash from Jeremy, actually. Simon does trash it purely because he doesn't want to be caught to that at this point in the future. So here's an account siphon coming in for click 4. So that leaves the players pretty much tied there on money. Jeremy just 1 credit behind. Now, Jeremy could elect to trash that daily cast, but it doesn't seem like a great play right now. And Simon is now on a 2-point lead, come back from that losing position. He was 4-0 down at one point. So shipment from Miramorph's going to allow Jeremy to install 3 cards. So one goes in that scoring remote, another is an ice on HQ, and a third he's just thinking about. And that's another piece of ice on HQ. Jeremy protecting 8th from any siphons, and secondly from any HQ pressure I might want to put on, and a hedge fund there from Jeremy. So I wonder, I'm not sure what Jeremy's defensive sort of upgrades are. Normally expect sort of Caprice and Ash and Breaker Bays to make those cheaper out of these ETF builds. We have seen an Ash which Simon was able to trash earlier on. The self-destruct also trashed, which, like I was saying, really interesting splash, something different you don't see very often. So Simon's going to clear tax and put some money on Katie Jones. So there's the Jackson draw. So if Jeremy can bait a run out of Simon into that server for something that isn't an agenda, that could open up the scoring window he needs to then install and score out next turn. Simon's going to draw for click 1. Click 2 is a further draw. See, Simon knows again, if this is a 3-2 and that's scoring out, you can afford to let it go. It's not a massive problem right now. Okay. Simon deciding course of action again here for the next click. Just a bit of a pause now. Wants to get this right. Yeah, gonna run that score remote. So 12 credits in total to get in, I believe. Yeah. So Desperado leaves Simon with 1 credit. Is this gonna pay off? Okay, so that's an Ash. Simon can do nothing about that. NAPD also can't do anything about. That's really annoying for Simon there, because that was the game if he had the money. Put some money on Katie Jones. Okay. Oh. So that was time called then by the judge. So Jeremy knows now this is last turns. So Jeremy biotics to score that in EPD, which ties the game up. Jeremy's the highest seed, so unless Simon can win on this turn, that is a win for Jeremy, which would knock Simon into the loser's bracket. So Simon's got one turn to make this count here. So essentially, it's got to be take the money off KT, run R&D. Any agenda here will win it for Simon. Three cards at the top of R&D seems like your safest bet, unless he happens to be holding a legwork, but I don't think he is right now. Yeah, click one, take the money from KT. It's got to be R&D, right? Simon knows that the game is on the line. He has to find the agenda this turn or he loses. And this can be the real pressure in these elimination rounds. If they do go to time, you can lose purely by being the lower seed, having tied the game. So click 2, draw. Yeah, he's running archives, which is a pop of the Jackson. So Simon running R&D. The Jacksons just put some cards in which aren't agendas. So it's all on this one axis. Jeremy just packing R&D of anything that Simon can't score from. Offers the cut. And here we go. Looking for top 3 cards. No. Yeah. Oh. By the skin of his teeth. But Simon does manage to get the agenda there. So that is a game win for Simon, which leaves him in the top brackets. Jeremy will drop down into the losers brackets of the double elimination rounds here. And we'll have the next game coming up shortly.